Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bifurcation Echoes. We had some problems with our last episode of downloading, so we got some help this time, and hopefully this one will be up and you can see it. I am Austin.
Man, brother. And I'm Shyler.
Yeah, and we are talking about men's mental health. Surprise, surprise. Kind of with our own
you're
style.
mental and you have health.
What?
This is the podcast for you.
Yeah, well, just to let you know, our event went
Swimmingly.
I almost said suingly. I had no idea what the word swimmingly.
Swimmingly.
Michael Phelps. But
18 gold medals.
it went very well. We had 15 people, 16, 15, 17.
We'll just say 30. We'll round up.
We had 15 people go. It was a great time. A lot of people won different things, the giveaways. We had an axe throwing competition, and Andrew won. Shout out to Andrew. Man throws an axe like a baseball.
Yeah.
It was
Very well.
throw a smack. It was so loud. It scared me when he first threw one. I thought a gun was going off.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, it was fun. We had food. We had a good time. We talked. People went in and outside and talked, and
Gave away stuff. And
yeah, it was great. I had fun.
Yeah. So if you didn't go, bum.
Lame. You're lame. No. Come to the next one.
Whatever that will be.
Yeah, we don't know exactly when that's going to be. Hopefully within, the next month. We'll do something in April. Hoping to do something each month. Or two.
Or three.
Or three. Probably not that long. That's too long.
Yeah.
But, we're taking suggestions, what people want to do. Kind of see what would be fun, do different things. We're talking about going to a sporting event, maybe watching a game. When does baseball start?
Well, now the lockout, and then they just now finally said that they're going to open. So usually starts in April,
That's what I thought.
but I think it's not starting until May.
Okay. Well, we might
Like 2
go.
weeks
We might
behind.
get Pirates tickets and get a
You
group of people to go.
Seawolves or when's basketball start? Say we could go to the Bayhawks.
I've never watched. I don't know. I mean, I've never watched college like locally.
It's not college.
What is it?
That's the
Double A, Triple A,
G
G League.
G League for basketball, and then the Seawolves is Double A. Double A, yeah, Double A for Seawolves. But it's Detroit's team, which is stupid.
But
anywho,
we will be having another event sometime. Hopefully next month. Might be a smaller event.
in the near future.
Like we want to, like I said, do like a camping thing. Maybe go shoot guns, blow some stuff up with tannerite. Play basketball, have a kickball event, cookout, whatever. We could do
With fireball.
with Fallout, yeah. We could do multiple things. So if you have any suggestions,
Frisbee golf.
it would be nice. Yeah, just something we can do. Golf in
Golf.
general.
If you guys want to lose, we can golf.
But yeah, so it was a great time. Next week, we're gonna have Kevin on here, so he can talk about
Oh, Kevo.
his retreat center that he's building. It's gonna be
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of stuff besides just the
axe throwing, yeah.
The axe throwing.
But
Ugh.
they can get into depth of everything. It's going to be into that because I don't want to say anything and it'd be wrong.
Yeah. Well, I know he's talking about a zip line.
Yeah.
Did say that. I should have got water, dude.
She got a water.
Yeah.
You
I
drink
shoulda got
water?
water. Yeah, it's gone.
No. You want some of mine?
No,
Oh,
I'm
never
good.
mind. You have COVID.
Yeah.
Coughing over there.
Cocoa.
Oh,
there's a little bit in there.
Today, Shyler and I didn't tell him this, but we're going to play rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and whoever loses gets to tell you their life story.
This is dumb.
You ready?
What life story do you want to hear? I better win.
Yeah, you ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, there's one. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, there's two. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, okay. So
Yeah. I'm the GOAT.
All right.
Let it be
You were
known.
nervous at
I'm the
first.
goat.
You were nervous. You were
I'm the
crapping
goat.
yourself over there.
I'm the GOAT. You
All
guys don't
right.
want to hear my life story. It sucks.
So,
You guys don't want to be depressed the rest of your
started
day.
from the bottom. Still at the bottom. You know what
I
I'm
ain't
saying?
left the hole I was born in. I dug it deeper. What's up?
No, okay, so.
Start
Give
when you
you-
were a wee lad,
A
huh?
wee little lad. A wee little
When you were
lad.
3 years old.
So,
I know you remember that.
yeah. All right, so we'll call this episode The Life of Austin then.
Life
then,
of Pablo.
And then Kevin will come next week, and then we'll do The Life of Shiler. So, on to it. So basically what's going to happen with both of these, and we've talked about doing this before, but we're just starting now about it. So what we're going to do is, one of us is going to start talking about our life, and then the other one's going to ask questions throughout the thing about, how we handled the situation and different things like that.
How did that make you feel?
Yeah. So we'll just jump right into it.
Welcome to the therapy session.
Yeah.
Shout out NF.
We had F, yeah. No, but so I guess we can just start from the beginning of time. If you don't know, my name is Austin Frankenberger. I am 24 years old. I reside in the city of Franklin, Pennsylvania, as of now.
Scrub.
So
Don't worry, he'll move 6 more times
I'm
before this
originally
episode's out.
I'm originally from here. I was born in Franklin. Whenever I was born, my real dad, left. Kind of went in separate ways from my mom. And obviously, as a kid, you don't really know any of that. So, I didn't know until, having the discussion as an adult. I lived my life normally for a while, as a kid, what a kid does. My dad, growing up, kind of was in the stages of bouncing around. We'll just put it as that. And it kind of took a toll as a young age, of does he love us in a sense?
Yeah.
We did, granted, it's not like I never did anything with him. It wasn't like I just didn't see him at all. We did things. I saw probably my dad's parents more than I did him at some points in life. And my Uncle Dave, shout out to my Uncle Dave, love you.
Shout out.
And that's kind of what made me and my cousin Devin close, was because I was always over at their house a lot. And my mom got with a gentleman, and got married. I think I was 9, probably. I don't remember what age I was. 9,
That was
10.
before me, I think.
Yeah, I was probably 9, 10, somewhere around there, I'm pretty sure. And I saw him as kind of like my dad. I did stuff with him a lot, taught me a lot of things.
Father figure.
Yeah, kind of the father figure in my life. And, kind of just grew up, in
Cooperstown.
Yeah, it wasn't. So, how can I put this in perspective? We weren't poor, but we weren't average. We were it was in between.
We were the middle class of the middle class.
Yeah, we were the middle class is here. You have the upper class, and then the poor, and we're like in here somewhere, you know.
Still tried to do everything for you.
Yeah, and it wasn't like you know, my mom or whoever wasn't trying to, you know, provide. Like we went and did things. So I can't, like, I'm not complaining. Anything that happened in my past, I'd never complain about it because it's made me who I am today. Like, I learned lessons from things that happened back in the day, and I mean, that's just kind of what it is.
I complain about it.
And that's what you need to do. But we'd always, you know, do little small trips and,
Waldemere.
yeah, like Waldemere. We went to different hotels, different things like that. And going from there, probably when I was about, I don't know what age. I'm trying to remember exactly what year it was. Everything's fuzzy and foggy, but, you know, my dad, I mean, like, he was, like I said, in and out. We kind of went over there randomly. He'd pick us up randomly, go hunting, whatever. And then probably, I think I was 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. Maybe it was 15
I think
or
it was
16.
15.
Probably 15.
15
yeah.
or 16.
15 or 16, yeah.
It might have been.
I was at a youth retreat with the church, and it was like a skiing, snowboarding resort.
Winter Slam.
It's called Winter Slam, yeah. It was actually the first time I ever met my wife was there that year. But
They got married then.
yeah, no. This is on our way home. I got a call from my mom saying that we had to move. And I didn't understand anything. She just said, hey, we had to move. And I didn't know what she meant in the sense of we had to move. Like, I thought she just meant like we were moving houses, like something happened to the house. But it turns out that my stepdad sexually assaulted my older sister. And I'm not going to really get into full details of that. But we had to move. And being 15 or 16, like, you understand the concept of what happened, but, like, you don't understand. Because that was like a person I was super close to, and that kind of like took a toll. And so we moved into my grandparents' house. We went and stayed at my dad's for a little bit, and then we got a call that he shot himself. That my stepdad shot himself. And that really gave me mixed emotions, because like I was like angry, I was upset. I didn't know why. Like, I didn't know if like I could have done something different. Like, would it?
Yeah.
Like, you know, just get into my head.
Yeah.
And you know, kind of lost myself, I guess, in a sense. Like, I didn't know how to act or be. And I, like, kind of, like, needed space, so I, like, ran out and, like, walked pretty much for, like, the whole entire day and didn't let anybody know where I was or anything like that, because, like, I literally didn't know what to do in the moment. And then I was asked if I wanted to go see him. He was on like a life support thing that kind of just makes him breathe.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. And I mean, that's kind of an image that I can't really get out of my head. I remember sitting. I'm probably gonna cry a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna stop you before you got into this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the day. Well, I mean, you obviously do. But you remember what you did after you got that call?
I called you.
Do you remember what I said? Because I do, and I regret it to this day.
No.
Yeah, see, I regret it every day. It was like such a like you said, being that young, thinking you know everything, like not like that, but like thinking, and then you get a call from one of your really good friends, and he's like, tells you what happens. And I'm just on the phone like, and that's pretty much how I
think the only thing I remember you saying was, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. And
that was the thing. And I was like, that's where I was anyways. Like, that's where I was like, I don't know, like, how to feel right now.
Yeah.
Like, it was so weird in the moment of, like you're pissed off and you're sad.
Yeah.
And, like, you're like,
you don't know,
Yeah, like you don't know how to react.
Yeah, and when you called me and I knew what you wanted. Well, no, I didn't know what you want. And then it took me, because I thought about this a couple years ago, I think when you were down in Georgia. And for some reason I just thought about it one day. And I was like, man, I really didn't do a good job at being a friend.
Listen, we were young.
And it was like such a weird, like... Still, like I said, still this day I think about it because I was like, man, I really suck at talking and opening up.
No, it's like the thing was, the thing that it was I didn't really care what anybody said. It was more of like a confirmation of like, we'll get through this type thing.
And that's where I should have went with it.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, you didn't know what age it was, but I think it was before we had our license.
You were like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
1 or 2. And,
like, I couldn't just go drive to hang out with you. I would have to ask, my dad, because that's what I remember where it was. I was out in my dad's front porch talking to you on the phone. And I was like I said, I can remember the exact conversation. And I just, I was like, I don't even know what to begin to say here because it was just,
we didn't experience anything.
Yeah, that was like for you obviously it was like a big experience, but as a friend I should have probably did something better.
I don't blame you in any
way. No.
I don't have it doesn't change the fact of anything.
Yeah, it just was like I said, it took me up until 2 years ago when I actually sat down for some reason and just thought about it. I think it was more than 2 years ago. It might have been 4 when my uncle passed away. And I think I called you too. But I don't remember if I did because that's another story. But I was like, man, I really should have. It's probably because of the way that you've been acting towards me now with my dad. And how you're like, talking to me. And I think that's what I think about is like, man, I really suck. I really suck.
No, it's just like we kind of like I said, we're different people. We handle things differently. And I'm like, it's not, the thing is, it's not that you're not you're supportive. It's just not like vocally. Like you're like a presence type person. And I'm like I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like verbal about it.
Yeah.
But again, that was umpteen years ago, and we're grown men now, and it's like.
Yeah. Now we think about that stuff, like
But so
you can continue your story. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good because you actually stopped me from about to tear up there for a second.
Well, that's and I was hoping I could get to the point because I wanted to talk to you about that. I didn't know. Probably should have done it off the podcast first.
No, man, it's all right. Like, like people can hear this and like, it's like, I don't like. If I was in the same situation or like it happened to you, we were we didn't know how to.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing of us talking like how we were talking, what we're doing about it right now.
Yeah.
We're young people, and young people now, they think the same way. They think that, we're guys, we shouldn't talk about anything, and yada yada yada. So we were never taught how to communicate.
Yeah.
And it was just me. I was just talking to you, like I was like,
Yeah.
So I don't blame you, because this is literally what the whole thing's about. It's like we're.
No, I didn't think you blamed me. It was just like more or less one of those things where like.
You feel like if you could go back in time,
yeah,
you'd change
I would have
it.
said something differently. Yeah. Like the same thing with like how I told you about when I shaved my head for my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like how I said for Hunter, I was like, man, I was an idiot back in the day, dude. I thought things completely different than I do now, and like you said, this is kind of how we're trying to show younger people to.
Like, this is what you need to do.
Yeah,
like,
because it'll help in the long run.
Yeah. But yeah, man, just like seeing him on that, and like the machine making him breathe and whatnot, like it was just like it's ingrained in my head, and I vividly remember everything that happened in that situation. I remember everything I said to him. I remember everything that, like, this is gonna sound weird. Like, I remember the smell. Yeah. I remember, the chair that I was in.
Yeah.
Like, that shit like sticks with you, especially like as a kid. Like, you're like, and that's like the first real shit that you see. Like, that's like, it's in there. And I talk about this. I talk about with my therapist and everything like that, and it's just like there's a point in time where it's like, and I'll get into a time that it happens and a thing that like affects me now, because there's another situation that I'm going to talk about that kind of they tie in together with the problem that I have now. But yeah, I left there. I remember, dude, I was in the like dumps, dude. Like, I was getting into things I shouldn't get into. I was doing things I shouldn't have done. I was acting out. Like, I didn't give
rebelling.
I didn't give a shit about it. I literally did not care about anything. Like, everything just went out the window.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school for a while. Like, it was terrible. Like, that was the year that I missed like 3 months of school, and came back, didn't care about anything, and kind of like it kind of like drew my perspective of how I was going to be for the rest of like school. Yeah. I get back and nobody gives a shit, and you're just there.
Yeah.
And nobody asked you about anything.
Yeah.
Like,
why were you going
I remember it being awkward because I know that some teachers knew what happened.
Yeah.
And the how we like encountered each other was just weird in a sense. Which again, I'm not saying like you guys did a bad job. Like, obviously there's umpteen amount of kids in there, and I'm just one of them, But so I get through what's going on. Like I said, I got into stuff I shouldn't have got into. I did stuff I shouldn't have done. Just in that deep slump. And gradually got better at it, like about the situation. Went to Easton in Philadelphia for another mission trip for the church, and I actually started talking about the situation and everything, and my sister talked about the situation, and helping, like, just being kind of honest about the whole thing, about how you feel and whatnot, and showing that you can use your tragedies as like a lesson for other people, like this is what I did to move forward and try to handle the situation. Did I handle the situation properly? No.
Yeah. But you doing it that way then shows people what not to do.
Yeah.
So it's like a life lesson.
Fast forward, I think it was a year or two. I think it was 2 years. A year or two. I think I was a junior.
10 and a half.
10
and a half.
What?
Grade 10 and a half.
Oh, yeah. No, but we were at my Padres house, my dad's house, in Rocky Grove, and I guess I should stop in between. My mom had a really, really hard time with the situation, and I understand. She had to go to, behavioral health. She wasn't really taking care of herself. She, I'm assuming other things were happening, but she had to go to behavioral health, and she stayed there. And her and I never really had this conversation, which she's going to listen to this, so I'm guessing she's going to talk. I kind of want to talk about it, just so it's clear. I felt abandoned in a sense, not like she didn't care, but it was kind of like, figure this out on your own. Not that she was thinking that, but like that's just what my life seemed like, was like, you need to figure this out by yourself.
Yeah.
Like because nobody else is doing it for you. You need to step up and figure out what's going on, what you need to do.
Yeah.
We were staying with my grandparents. I stayed at different people's houses. And I stayed with Devin and his dad. I stayed with Devin and his mom. I stayed with my aunts and my uncles, friends' houses, your house, Robert's house. I was just like bouncing all around, and like I felt like I had to man up at a very, very like younger age of like not really experiencing everything like as a kid, like being like carefree and whatnot, and the kind of I was on my own is what it felt like. And it's not that I was, it's just that's what it feels like when you don't talk about your issues and you're like, oh, I need to do this myself, and not actually be vocal with anybody. It's like you get into the mindset of, I can handle this. And I know, like, and the thing that I want to say is with my mom is like, I don't see it as like she gave up on us. I saw it as she knew that in the state that she was at, she couldn't take care of us, so she needed to go get help so she could come back and be a better her. And she did. And so I literally have no problem at all with it. It's just like looking back at it, I know when I was in the moment how I felt versus how I see it now is completely different.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, Mom, that you got help, and I'm glad that you're with somebody now that loves you and treats you the way that you should be treated. But on to the next part in life. It was about a year or two later. We were at my dad's house, and I don't remember what started the argument, but my dad had if you didn't know, my dad is retired from the military, and if you don't think PTSD is a real thing, then you should evaluate your knowledge, because he went from 0 to 100 in an instant, and if you ever want to talk about the situation, it's gonna take long for me to talk about that. So I'll just My dad had a PTSD moment, and I got put in the hospital, and I had a concussion, and I had to stay out of school for a few days, and I also smashed his truck with a brick whenever I got outside after what happened, and I got put on probation, and I had to pay a $2,800 fine, and I was in probation for 6 months. It kind of now if like you see now, especially if you know my dad, he's a whole different person. I'm a whole different person. So like we've talked about the situation, and kind of came, to like a closure in a sense, and like we talk now. He supports what I do, and he really, really, is there for his grandkids, like my daughter, Mariah's kids, and I'm really glad to see that and everything. But that was another thing that kind of like threw the whole trust issues in.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, after the whole first incident to the second incident, it probably made you, I don't know how to word this, probably made you hesitant towards male figures, like in school?
Yeah, I mean, the way that I saw it was,
well, I guess any figure.
My grandpa, like my mom's dad, he really stepped up and like, I mean, he's always been like that. Like I was super close with my grandpa, especially back then. Like we'd go over to their house all the time, and it was just, I mean, he was like the best grandpa you could ever have. But in school and like at church and different things like that, like, the people say they like want the best for you and yada yada yada, but it's like at that point in time of my life, it was just like I doubt it.
Yeah,
because it was like I don't like you don't care about anything that's going on with me, so like don't act like you do, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like, I don't know. Like there was teachers that were like, like I said, they knew the situation, so they're more like
lenient
in the sense of like, or they were more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like caring in a sense, but like not like, oh, okay, like how you doing? Like they were just like
they would let you do whatever. Like
not like they just let me like do whatever I wanted. It was just like they were like they understood where I was coming from, so they weren't as hard on me. Like if I wasn't doing something right or like I wasn't, doing something, like they would be like, hey, like they would just be more lenient, I should say. They were just
they'd let a little more things slide, like if you forgot your homework one day or something.
It was just this whole different, I don't know, man. The whole atmosphere of my life at that point was weird. Like everybody was like stepping on eggshells around me, not because they were afraid that like I was like gonna do something. They were afraid that like they didn't know how to approach the situation.
Yeah.
So it's just like they were kind of like tiptoeing around it, like
didn't want to bring it up, but didn't want to.
Yeah, and then after that, I went into, after what happened to my dad, I kind of moved on from it. Finished high school, barely. Did summer school. That's when I graduated. My recruiters are the ones that made me graduate. Like they were on my ass about literally everything.
Yeah.
But before that, let me mute this because stuff's going off like crazy. I forgot a part before I graduated or went to the military. So we were at a church, and I'm not going to bring anybody's names up or what church it was, but we were at a church, and my wife's parents, worked there at the church, and we were part of the youth group and whatnot. And I was staying at Jayla's house, like her parents let me stay, and I was there senior year. And I don't remember exactly what happened or how it happened or what, but I remember going to that church, and like there was like an argument in a sense, and like they had to leave because I was staying there and we're not married, but this is the reason why I have, and I'm being honest.
I was gonna ask you this question.
I'm being honest.
Do you want me to ask?
They were. I feel like I know what you're gonna ask.
Yeah. Is this why you feel that the church scene isn't like?
Yes,
Yeah.
because for the people that were either in this situation or know about it or whatever like that. The reason why I see church the way I do is because of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that people can have their own problems in life, and then they just hone in on somebody else's problems, and then they're like, you know what, you're getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Like, that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, it actually infuriates. Like, when I think about it, it makes me angry because it's like, one, nobody asked me, the one that caused the whole situation, why I was staying there.
Yeah.
Nobody asked me, what's going on at your house, Austin? Why are you staying here?
Yeah. Because that's how they look at it.
Yeah, and three, there was so much like gossip and all this other stuff that was going around about me staying there, that like this is the reason of why I see people the way that I see, and the reason why I am the way I am. If you have a problem with somebody, or you have a question, you have a thought or anything, ask that person.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to you know how weak it is. I'm getting angry right now. Do you know how weak it is for you to talk about a kid in high school behind his back to other grown-ass adults,
Yeah.
and not have the courage to come ask me why I'm doing these things or what's going on,
Or why they're even letting you.
Yeah, you just jump to conclusions, and you think, and
You just assume.
dude, it's just the fact that if you were a saint and you were a nun and you did absolutely nothing wrong, and then you just laid those rules down, I would have a better understanding of that.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that you're a normal ass human being, just like I am.
And probably
you have
make just as many mistakes.
You just make just about as many mistakes. What were you doing at my age? What are you doing now? That's the whole thing. It's like you're making your own mistakes in life.
Yeah.
Why are you coming at me? Why are you coming at people that are accepting in life,
Yeah.
accepting me into their family? And you're if I'm being honest,
You're trying to be holier than thou.
yeah, if I'm being completely honest, you're trying to set an example that you're not even following, and you're just trying to make yourself feel better. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're literally pointing out other people's flaws, and you wonder why there's not that many people at church. You're wondering why
Kids don't want to go to church.
kids don't want to go. Why people are being turned away?
Yeah.
Because you're not accepting. You are just so fast to judge and point fingers rather than deal with your own stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's why.
If they would have came to me and asked, and then they heard it, and then they went, "Oh, well, we still don't think," I would be better with that.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they didn't even take the time out, that they just wanted, just to say whatever they wanted to say. And, I see these people around. I see them. They say hi. They've said hi to Jayla. Do I talk to them? No, not really. I don't care. It's not that I don't like you. It's just I don't like what you have to say. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
You did something negative in my life.
Left a bad impression.
You left a bad impression. There's no, like, think about it this way, right? So let's say, oh, they think, oh, well, they're having sex before marriage, blah, 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 right? Where are we now? Are we together? Are we together?
We're in my basement.
Not you. me and Jayla, where are we now? Are we married?
You are married.
Okay. And we have a kid?
One kid.
One kid. Okay. So, my question is, why? Why are you saying stuff, not even giving a chance, not even asking the situation,
Yeah.
and now they want to be like, oh, like you guys are so cute together and blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Could you imagine? Because I really think about this too. I'm sorry, I'm getting this one situation. I want to talk about this for a long
I'm just
time.
laughing because
Could you imagine? I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah, I
like,
know. I
it's
just
like
think
all
it's
true.
hilarious, yeah.
Could you imagine if her parents were like, oh, like after this whole situation, like they cared more about their jobs than an actual human being.
Yeah.
Like they cared more about their image, like
Yeah.
these other people do.
Yeah.
Than other people.
Yeah.
They if they were like, oh, well, we want to keep our job, we like this church, yada, 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 and then they just kicked me out, and then me and Jayla separated.
Yeah.
None of my life would be the way it is.
Yeah.
It's solely
And
because,
it would look worse.
yeah, it's solely because of my wife's parents, that they are actual decent human beings and care about other human beings
Instead of faking it.
instead of, oh, we care about the other people and we want to lead them. No, you don't. I'm prime example. She's prime example. What do you think it does? If I was to go into a church right now, right, and I am the way that I am, I cuss. It's just the way I am. I have a different view on things. That's just the way that I am. And if I saw you, the people that, neglected us and neglected our feelings and neglected the situation, if I saw you and you came up and you were like, oh, let me help you on your walk, to God and everything,
Yeah.
I want to grow with you.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. No, you
No, you
don't.
don't.
Just
Yeah.
because I'm there now.
Yeah.
How come you never reached out and said, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for, just kicking you guys out without even caring. Or like,
Yeah.
they don't check up on us. They never said, hey, like, we're sorry for, being asses.
Yeah.
They haven't.
Yeah.
I've seen people that I've talked to about it. Like, there's a guy named Andy that is from that church. Andy, went to all, like, the youth events and everything. He was a youth leader and whatnot. I loved Andy. I saw him not too long ago. We had a conversation. He's a great guy. I haven't had a problem with him. He's one of the people that I see that, like, I don't have an issue with, from that church.
Yeah.
Who's another one? I mean, there's different people that I know that were there that I know didn't say anything, but they actually still had conversations with me outside of what was going on.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Mike. Mike's a great guy. Never had any issues with him. But, man, I'll tell you what. The people that were part of that situation, and they may be listening, they may not be listening. All I'm saying is, you don't have to say you're sorry to me, because it's not going to change anything, right? Just because I'm saying something doesn't mean you have to say you're sorry now just because I brought it up. But the people that you should say you're sorry to are my wife and her parents, because man, oh man, did you guys mess up. And I hate, the hypocrisy that you had in your lives. I hate, everything. That whole situation was just so messed up.
Yeah.
Like, and especially as an adult, like, how people act. Like, as a kid, you're just like, oh, like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
But looking back at it from now, dude, like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like my church.
I'm not saying all churches are like that. I'm just saying in general, like the whole everything that happens in life, in my life, and like the trust issues, and then that happening with church makes me have trust issues with churches.
Yes. Well, no, that's what, like with my church, we have people who are old-fashioned like that as well, but they're not like
there's a difference between thinking it's wrong,
yeah,
and you speaking on it,
and then
not working on your own problems.
Yeah,
like that's the difference. Because like when I talk about issues about other people, let it be known that I'm working on my own issues as well. Yeah. I'm not just like I don't just. And if I talk to somebody about a problem, I talk to them because that is how you would address the situation.
Yeah.
Basically, that whole situation was like they're all in high school and they're in a gossip circle and they're all texting each other and saying things.
Popular kids, putting down the.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know how.
Sorry, I am not sorry. Let that be on the record. I do not care. Like, it was just dumb.
Yeah.
And if you tell me that anything else, if you still have a problem with it, come and talk to me. I am open to talk about it. We can have a conversation. I will be a reasonable person. I will have a conversation. But when I only get angry and frustrated when people just like to yap, and don't like to handle the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just like to talk about it,
gossip about it,
and not do anything about it.
Fix anything. That's how most churches run, though.
They didn't. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm like.
And I'm not saying that all churches are bad. Not all churches are bad. I'm going to say that. We had a great one down in Georgia that we went to, and we loved it. Yeah. It was a great church. I went to different events with them. I went to their guys' events, different things, had breakfast and whatnot. They were great people.
Yeah.
It's just, and you're going to get it with everywhere you go. It doesn't matter whether it's church, whether it's work, whatever. Yeah. You always have the people that think they're better than other people, and they like to point out the flaws of other people to make themselves look better.
Yeah.
I am not that. Well, yeah.
It's usually the higher ups.
I'm the type of person. I'm getting so off track, but we're just getting into the depth of this one situation. That's perfectly fine. I hope you're enjoying what's going on right now, me ranting. But I'm the type of person that if I have a problem with somebody, I'll address it. Yeah. Right? I have my own issues. I work on what I need to work on. If you bring up my name and bring me a part of something, I'm either going to ask you, like, hey, did you say this? And you either man up and say yes, or if you didn't say it, you just go, like, you be armed. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, if you say something about somebody and they ask you, say yes. Like, it's not hard to try to work on discrepancies with, different people.
Yeah.
And it's just aggravating when people just, are yapping back here or talking on Facebook, and then you say something. It's not even the fact of beating people up. It's just they say stuff on Facebook, and then whenever you're in public, they're best friends with you.
Yeah, well, that's how today's society.
It just aggravates me. Yeah. It's
keyboard warriors.
Bro. It's just why can't you? No, because then it's the same thing. It's also the people that they have a disagreement with you. Let's say me and you don't see eye to eye to something, right?
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, well, I'm going to beat you up because you don't agree with me. Yeah. That's also dumb.
Yes.
I'm saying if you can't sit down and have a civil conversation about something, handle the issue like grown adults, not freaking meatheads and not little gossip circles and not, we didn't see anything, Just talk about, handle the situation.
Yeah. Because lying that you didn't say anything too is just
bad. The only reason why I have not talked to them and brought up the conversation is because my side, there's nothing wrong. If you tell me that I did something wrong, if you see it as oh, you were in the wrong, How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
You didn't. Nobody came and asked me what's going on, and
Yeah.
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like that, just jumping to
Judge.
conclusions,
Yeah.
and it's sad. It's honestly sad.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it is, and that's the way that people work, and like. That was the whole thing of when I said about, people can be smarter than you, they can be stronger than you, they can be wealthy, but as soon as they use it to talk down to you,
Yeah.
that's when
it throws it all.
it throws it all out the door.
Yeah.
And basically they were like, "Oh, I'm more holy than you.
Yes, holier than
This
thou.
is what you did.
Yeah.
Get out."
Yeah, you did this wrong. Now do your Ten
Dude, it's
Commandments.
just absolutely frustrating.
Yeah.
Anyways, here at Austin Freaks Out, we're going to turn this into a white room, and I'm going to be in a white coat soon. But
Dumb. But I guess move on.
yeah, moving on. After I got out of high school, I went into the Army,
The military.
the military. And I met some good friends there. I had a
jumper.
met
Military.
good old Oomper, good old Dylan Jumper. Shout out to my boy Dylan Jumper.
Military.
There's a lot of people. It's hard to name them all that I was
What's your
close
brigade,
to.
dude?
Huh?
What's your brigade?
What's my brigade?
Shout out that brigade.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna name off some names. Frederick Crew, Dylan Jumper, Sean Smith, Curtis Holstein, Tavion Jacobs,
Samoan dude.
Big Samoan boy, Derek Sant,
Squirrel.
Alex Siqueiros,
Who's the other? Jose?
Jose Costa,
Look at this. I even know him.
Tavison, Dylan Tavison,
What about
Greenway,
the one that was in
Mitchum.
your wedding? The one in your wedding?
Jarrett.
Yeah.
Jarrett's lives in like 30 minutes away from me.
Does he?
Yeah, he's from Grove City.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense on why he came. I thought he honestly flew up.
No,
I honestly,
he didn't just fly up for the
flew
wedding.
I really did.
No.
Shout out.
Am I missing anybody? I'm trying to think of like the people that I talk to the most there.
Those are the ones I know.
Ethan Norris,
Yeah. I know.
Chuck. Oh God, dude, I feel terrible. You know who you are. If I miss any names, I'm drawing a blank. Austin Howe, another close friend. Austin Howe and Dylan Jumper were the ones that I spent most time with in Korea. We did, hood rat stuff. Yeah, Love Day, Cruz, Shaheen.
You're going to go on for way too long.
I'm just trying to think. Anyways, all the guys out there, thank you for making my military career fun and entertaining. Preston, love you too.
I knew this was going to happen. I knew.
You meet different people from different parts of, the states and,
Yeah.
different walks of life, people from different countries.
Different views.
Different views on everything. It was just like a good life experience. I know we can speak firsthand, and you guys can agree with me. There's no reason why you shouldn't disagree with me. Especially in the infantry, you got to be like the man of the man. Like you have to be top dog, alpha male. And those are one of those things where you don't talk about your feelings, especially in the military.
Shut up and do your job.
Pretty much.
Yep.
If you you just do it. Like it's like people, like what's the hardest job? Like, dude, that has to be in competition for number one, just because of the stress that you're in general, especially being overseas or anything like that. Like you're away from home, and you're getting yelled at every day. It's just like
Yeah. And you can't yell back.
Yeah. It's just, it's a different experience. It shaped me into the person that I am now. More confident. Take less crap from people. But yeah, like we, did a lot of, missions and stuff like that, and like going over to Korea and like just being away from family, but we still, that's your second family. You have brothers, you have sisters, different things over there, and like playing sports over there, going out to eat, going out to drink, different things like that. Like that's honestly what, if I didn't stay busy there, like if I wasn't constantly doing something, I wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
I would have been in the worst mental state ever.
Yeah.
But I just literally, we kept doing things. We were, playing video games. We were playing softball. We were playing basketball. We were going to work out. We were going to eat. We were going to drink. We were going to an arcade. We were going to this restaurant,
Just
that
hang out
restaurant.
in general, yeah.
Going to see the city, different things. Like always, and then working. Like working took up most of the time because there was times, where we were out in the field for, a few weeks.
Yeah.
But, you just get close with people. It's a great time. It's a great time. I'd never do it again.
The greatest, worst 4 years.
Yeah.
That's why he got that contract and said, I might do it again.
No, but, I met, people over there that, I'm going to be friends for a lifetime. I still talk to majority of them.
Going to a wedding.
Going to a wedding next month, 2 months from now. We talked about getting us all together and, renting someplace out and just all of us hanging out together and just having a good time. But, after the military...
what did you do?
What
What didn't you do?
What?
Just after the military, what didn't you do?
What didn't I
That'd
do?
probably be easier. What were you, car salesman?
I was a car salesman. I was a security...
gutter salesman.
Not a gutter salesman, a roof repair.
Security,
and then manager at Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
I think it's everything.
Houses, apartments.
Moving a lot.
Yeah.
No, but we, after I got out of the military, I went into car sales because when you're in the infantry, you don't get any certification for anything except shooting and blowing stuff up, apparently. And there's not even a certification for that.
And that's what the car dealerships look for.
Yeah. No, but they were the type of people, the car dealership that I went to, they were open. They were like, we like people that haven't worked at a car dealership before because we can mold you. And that's basically what happened. I was good at it because I'm good at talking to people. And when I was there, we had Thea, and then Jayla had postpartum depression, and that hit hard, and we didn't have any family members or anybody around to like be there whenever I was at work all the time. And so I was like, we didn't have a lot of money in the bank, and so like income taxes just hit, and we took the money from that and moved to North Carolina to where her sister lives, and was there for a few months. And COVID happened and everything, and nobody was really buying cars and different things like that. So I was like, I need to get out of this. And
so you came back.
Some things happened the way I was trying to get into. I can't even think right now. I was trying to get into contracting, like private contracting.
That's why I couldn't think of the name either. I remember that call.
Yeah, for a company.
Good thing you didn't do it.
It didn't go through. And I was wondering why it was so much money, and also it was because it was at the Afghanistan embassy, and they just got attacked, and I didn't know that.
It's like a plane crash.
Yeah,
it won't happen again, right?
Yeah. Well, the fact was, I didn't know about it until after I wasn't, I didn't get to go anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it was just for the better.
Yeah.
But.
Then after that,
that's when I got into the security.
Yep.
And then after the security job, that's when I went to...
Well, before that, we came down.
Yeah.
And visited.
And then I went to Planet Fitness, and then we moved then because our money was low. I wasn't, we weren't making. We needed something to reset us.
Yeah.
So then we moved back. And I know we got backlash from different people, and I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. We had to do what we had to do. We had to focus on what we needed to do. We're figuring everything out.
Still,
like, dude, like people that are like, oh, like you had to move
think
back.
about this though. You're only 24, right?
Yeah.
You have a family, very similar to my situation, and how Kevin and I'm drawing a blank on her name. Don't ask me why. His wife,
Tammy.
Tammy. Yes, I almost said Teresa. Probably because that was my H&R Blocks. Whatever pro person that's going to talk to me.
Jeez.
But how they said, they're like, how we've figured out this early in life, kind of. Like,
yeah, it's like, how many
but we
people,
still haven't even really figured it out, and we're still trying to grow and
isn't
expand.
it the fact that we're only 24?
Yeah.
And
Like you still have, like, think about this. In 10 years, you'll be 34. You're still young.
Yeah, and the thing that makes me mad is, like, people are like, oh, like, you had to, like, it's sad because you had to go back to where you're from, or, like, you had to rely on other people, or yada, yada, yada. And it's like, okay, so would you rather me stay where I was and
Struggle
heavily while having a kid, and, and it's usually the people that are, like, 40 or, like, are 30 or however old they are, and they go, well, that's pathetic,
Yeah.
or like, you should be able to figure it out. What were you doing at my age?
Yeah.
Where were you at my age?
Yeah.
And again, it's the people that talk around you, and then you hear it from other people, and like, they don't like to talk to you about it, and it's really aggravating to me, because it's like, if you want to say something about me, have a conversation with me about it.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like, okay, I did this because, one, I wanted to make sure that my family was taken care of.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thing that registers in my brain is, what do we need to do to make it okay for my family to be taken care of?
Yeah.
And then, I had stuff back here that was happening with family and everything. Then I was like, everything just kind of like drove back home.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did.
It was me.
We moved.
You wanted to come back to
we
me.
moved back. Started rebuilding. Started working for my dad. Everything like that. Got hired on as an assistant manager at Johnson & Murphy, and I am the manager now at Johnson & Murphy. Just went down there for a manager's meeting in Tennessee, and that was great. Met great people, had a fun time. One of the reasons, like the whole family situation that I was moving back, because something that I'm dealing with now is my grandpa. Like I said, he was very close. I have an Elvis tattoo just because of him. We listen to Elvis all the time. Planning on getting a Johnny Cash tattoo. It's literally the only one I have. And, he has dementia now, and one of the people that I'm closest to doesn't remember who I am anymore. And, I still go and see him, and when I have conversations with him, I don't really tell him anymore that, like, hey, like, I'm your grandson. I just talk to him like a friend. Like, I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Because I don't need to confuse him with anything.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at now. And it's just, what I was going to tie into was,
It's another obstacle in the road.
Well, another thing that I wanted to talk about, which I won't get into complete detail about it, but was we lost 3 people in training whenever I was in the military, and people were like a lot closer to them than I was, but it was you know, weird to talk about it to them about it, like, because I wasn't there and like when it happened, right? And they, like, when we all had to go in and talk to people about it, we sat in a circle, and like I tried, you know, talking to the people that, especially that were close to them, like I was like, hey, like if you know, if you need anything, I'm here. Like I'm willing to talk. And I kind of got like shunned away in a sense because I wasn't there. Like I didn't experience it.
Yeah.
But like I worked with these people every day. Saw them every day. I talked to them every day. You know,
Yeah.
they were great people.
Yeah.
And you know, it the whole situation is terrible, how it happened and everything, and you know, people, the higher ups talking about it, you know, kind of made everybody mad because of just the way that you know the situation was handled and whatnot. But you know, I just wanted to touch on it because it was like it's you know difficult to even you know talk about it now because it's like still like I feel like the like what do I say to somebody that was actually there, or say to somebody you know that was related to them or married to them or you know kids, whatever. Like it's like it's difficult because I know that like it's like kind of like how your situation was, but like when I you know tried to talk about it, like people were just like, hey, like you weren't there, like, you don't understand.
Yeah, but
and I mean
kind of not the way they should have went about it because
no, but I mean I get it. Like they're you know they were going, they hit them harder and everything like that. But like you know,
if you're trying to be there for them,
I just you know, I look back at the situation and like I wish you know there would have been a way that we all could have talked about it more.
Yeah,
because I know people are still you know going through it now, and like I would love to talk to you guys about it, and I would love to have this conversation, just so like it's a whole thing about opening up, like I said, and especially the people that you're you know close with, we can talk about it. But moving from that, yeah, I'm just the thing that I wanted to say was about how I talked about going from bless you. Bless you. No, but going from that, what I wanted to say was about how like my stepdad and my dad and everything. The one thing that I didn't talk about, which I'm talking about more now, which a lot of people didn't know, was, you know, I've had multiple nightmares of both situations of being in the, what's it called? The, like, my stepdad's room, like, and seeing him like that versus, you know, like, the situation playing out in my head, and then, like, being attacked by my dad, and then that whole situation. It's like a lot of people don't know that, you know, I take medication and stuff for that now. It helps, and I'm glad that I'm doing it because it actually helps me, you know, sleep in different things and not have dreams or nightmares. And you know, going to the VA and like actually being on medication and different things, like it's actually nice to have, you know, progress and different things to be able to move forward. And I'm still moving forward, and I would want anybody, you know, that's going through anything to reach out, because I know like it definitely benefits me. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your loved ones, reach out to me, reach out to Shyler. Just find somebody to, you know, talk to, or find an outlet, find something that you enjoy, and yeah, just keep moving forward. That's all you can do. That's what I'm doing still. 24, still got a long life to live. And so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So, we kind of skipped over the whole...
Don't really need to do questions or anything.
Yeah.
That's a long
So
talk anyway.
You guys got a better understanding of my life. You got to get deep into it.
We'll probably bring up more stuff eventually that we skip over.
Like, we'll go into depth of certain situations. And, like, how to deal with them and whatnot, and how I would suggest dealing with them.
Yeah.
Things that I did or didn't do that I know that would help. Spread that out so you guys get more information. I was getting into other things like outlets and stuff, and then I was getting burnt out because I was doing too many things, so I dropped one of them, and I'm picking up something smaller because, trying to do too many things at once is exhausting.
Yeah. Especially with work and family and
the
podcast.
And I really this is important to me, so I really want to focus on this and make sure this is, one of the top priorities.
Priority numero 30.
Yeah.
40, 50.
3.
But
yeah, so we will, keep in touch with the next event whenever we find something out.
Yep.
We'll make a post if you would, comment on it, some ideas and different things like that, or like anything you want to hear us talk about or anything. Please share. We're trying to get this as big as we can. Don't just share the post. You can share the page as well. That way people can go on and follow us and different things like that. Like that. I haven't even puberty yet.
Yeah, if you just want to, like Austin said, we'll probably make a post and then have a comment section, hopefully, of like ideas that you guys would want to do. Like, it doesn't have to be a huge event or anything. It could be like something small, like he said, like playing sports or like just hanging out. So
yeah, and
we're trying to keep the...
We want to do that thing that we were talking about going live and doing kind of like a Q&A.
Yeah.
So you guys could ask us different questions, like either get to know us better, like it doesn't matter what, like, what's your favorite color? You know, purple, blue,
purple.
But yeah, just like any questions, whether it be deep questions or you like just want like just to know something, anything, or have suggestions or like say something, like we can just talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the life of Austin. Next week we'll have Kevin on, and then the week after that we'll get into that boy's life.
Yay.
All right.
Yay.
We shall talk to you later. I'm Austin.
And I'm Charlie.